Hello, it's Wednesday's Talking Reds. We are live across all platforms. It's John Gibbons here with Chloe Bloxam to bring you the latest out of all the news in LFC world today. Obviously, the team are out in Austria. We are here at the heart of Liverpool city centre, and we're trying our best to keep up with what's going on. But fair play to the club channel, both the channel and the website for doing some really good stuff and keeping us informed. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, starting with an interview the lovely Glenn Price has done with Diogo Jota. Jota is someone who was great for us last season, Chloe. I just want to talk a little bit about his impact and what to expect from him last season, because he talks in the interview about the fact that he didn't get a pre-season last year, and you forget that he comes in quite late. It's on that Super Friday with Thiago, isn't it? And really hit the ground running. Obviously picked up the injury, and which meant it is he didn't finish on quite as many goals as what we were expecting at some point. But he does have a huge impact, and with this first pre-season that he's not had before, I think we can expect even more from him this season.
Yeah, of course. I think he was one of the sparks of the season. You look at the season, you don't think it was very good, and then you end up third. But one of the reoccurring factors in that was Jota. He scores a hat-trick in the Champions League.
Yeah, of course.
He's very good against Arsenal. I think that's his first goal at home. And he was an impact sub, which is something that we haven't seen in a while. Diogo Jota came off the pitch, and the last time I really remember him scoring was obviously Madrid. But before that, it was Newcastle with the header in the last minute. They're the kind of things I can remember of Divock. But when Jota came on, every time you always thought to yourself, he's going to get a goal, he's going to create something, he's going to do a bit more. And at some stage you wanted them to start all four up front, didn't you?
Yeah.
And for years, 3 years of the best front three in the world, in my opinion, playing, you didn't think that Jota maybe on the last day when no one expected us to buy him. There was people thinking he's never going to be able to make it into that team, and he showed exactly what he can bring, and he's a brilliant player, and I'm so excited to see more of him.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see more of him next year. Another thing I've enjoyed on the club website have been Pep Linders' diaries, and he's talked about they've moved training camps, so they did 2 weeks in one, and then they've moved, and he said this couple of weeks, this week or so here is all about sort of passages of play and having things that they work on so much that they're instinctive during games. And I was thinking about that a little bit with Jota as well, and thinking how well he linked up straight away with Salah and Mane. But now they've had a week or so sort of on the training ground, been able to sort of work together, and I'm hoping to see a little bit of it tomorrow night in the game. A few things that you think, they've been working on that.
Yeah, and obviously last season we can talk about Mane a bit more in detail, in the sense of everything he did, it looked like it wasn't instinct. It looked like he was too much in his head. Even his passing, he just was so slow on the ball. With Jota, when he was playing last season, you didn't get that. It felt like when he got the ball, everything was already there in his head. He already knew the positions of the other players, and to come in without a pre-season and already understand where the other two players are going to be positioned, especially in our kind of role with the intensity, with the way our entire team gets back and then pushes forward altogether. Jota hit the ground running, and I'm so excited to see the actual link-up play, what they're actually doing. Is it 1-2s in and around the area? Is it someone running in behind? It's just exciting to see another player who is not the same as Firmino. Firmino sacrifices himself for the team. He does a lot for the team. Jota is more like, I reckon he could beat you in a foot race kind of thing, very skillful, and his left peg's a wonder. So yeah, I'm really excited to see the link-up, and who wouldn't want to see Jota, Firmino, Mane and Salah all on the pitch together having a great time. You
can tell Chloe's got a proper football brain, by the way. I'm just looking forward to seeing him kicking in the goal. And so many of you, bring in a few comments from the YouTube. Michael Hurst says 15 plus league goals for Diego, he thinks. John McLean says, I think Jota is capable of getting 25 in all comps next season. And John Murray, if Jota has a fully fit season, he can reach 20 goals, 10 assists in all comps. If Sadio has another season out of form, Jota could get the starting place ahead of him, and that would be interesting to see. But obviously, he's got this little bit of a run to see all three of them. So we'll see how the three of them with Roberto Firmino not yet back does. And a nice little point here from the Wolfman. He says, I think we'll get to find out this season just how good Jota is. Last season was great, but the defence compromised the midfield and attack, so I'm expecting even better. And that's a good point, isn't it? Because the team he's playing in last season is so disjointed and is so has to compromise so much about what it's all about that Jota maybe hasn't had a chance to play in this full pressing, full attack, heavy metal Liverpool team, and so we could see even more of him just from the fact that the Virgil van Dijk's there.
Yeah, exactly, and you've also got to think of the fact that Virgil van Dijk, he's the one who gets us on the front foot. Those diagonal balls that he does over the top's unreal. For example, the one to Mane against Bayern Munich, and you can see the fact that Fabinho for a lot of last season was at centre half. Thiago wasn't the player that we know he could be, but that's he was in a disjointed team. So yeah, with the entire 11 who you expected to play when you actually joined the club, there's so much more quality there. There's so much more understanding of what the manager wants and how to execute it, and the ways of pressing, obviously, because I think they have like an L shape up top to press up, and they've got to be in a certain shape before they know when to press. So yeah, it's just the more assets we can get around him, the better it's going to be, the better service he's going to get, and hopefully those chances that are created he can put in the back of the net.
Yeah, big things expected from Jota this year. Also a shameless plug for our lovely Diogo Jota t-shirt that we brought out last season. Absolute belt, I love this. Nice one to Andy Jones for the design, and yeah, it's available on our shop, which if you go to the Anfield Wrap website, click on the shop and you'll go straight through to there. And Chloe will have you this t-shirt in nowhere, wherever in the world you are. Speaking of a few plugs, it's a great time to subscribe to the Anfield Wrap. Some brilliant stuff coming out this week. Not least our superstar Chloe. We've done this thing called the rematch. We did it a little bit in 2001. 2001 week was last summer. We had loads of good content on the 20th anniversary 2001. But one of the things that went down really well that surprised us a little bit was our recreation of the 2001 FA Cup final on FIFA between Liverpool and Arsenal. So we're doing a bit of a series called the rematch where Josh Sexton plays Liverpool and tries to right some of the wrongs that have happened in Liverpool's history. But his first one he came up with it against a formidable opponent, it's fair to say, didn't he, Chloe? And not giving too much away for those who haven't seen it yet, but maybe bit off a little bit more he could chew.
Yeah, he definitely was chatting all over the smack before it, and then at the end, quite silent, to be honest. I think I could hear crickets in the background, but big up Josh, who tried to restore what has went wrong in Liverpool history, and did he do it or not? Well, he's either going to be very guilty and very sorry to a whole load of a fan base of Liverpool, or he's going to bring that trophy home for you. But if this hasn't gave away what's happened, then it's a great watch from my perspective anyway.
A great watch from everyone's perspective as well. That is the Liverpool-Chelsea game from 13-14, Denver Bar and all recreated on FIFA for you. So that's available for video subscribers, be that on YouTube or of course on the Tour app. So get stuck in. There was also a Gutter show recorded last night. Rob Gutman did it live from Gutterland. But one he didn't mention last night that's developed overnight is Saul. So I want to talk a little bit about that. Saul's obviously the Atletico Madrid midfielder who's been linked a little bit over the summer. But AS, which is the biggest paper over in Spain, seems to think that Liverpool are now favourites and are now willing to up their bid to a level that Atletico might accept. I mean, it's an interesting one. He's a class player, first of all, Chloe, and it looks like Atletico do want to sell. And so if Liverpool can do a deal for him, then, it'd be a brilliant bit of business.
Yeah, it would be. And, when I think of Saul, I think, what a young player he was when I first watched him. He had a release clause of like over 100 million. And I was like, well, that knocks everyone out the race, doesn't it? But in recent years, he's like fell out with the coach. He's not been playing as much. And for how talented he is, it's quite surprising that he's not been playing. And there's clearly a problem there. But, the story came up weeks ago and I was really excited because I thought we'd get him. And then it turns out he was going Barca on a swap deal for Sutton. And then it's just kind of been quiet since, and I don't want to get my hopes up, but obviously we defo want signings. It's what we all want. It's the excitement of it. It's literally like a new Christmas present, really, isn't it? You're getting to see the new player in a red kit on the pitch, and I think Sal's a really good player, really great midfielder, and he'd be a great asset to us, and we definitely need a midfielder. That is one thing that I take out of the transfer window, is that you've got to replace Gini, and maybe this can be his replacement, maybe not, but we'll see. 40 million, I mean, how much have we've already made in excess of 20 million already, so you know, it's a nice amount of money, and hopefully, you know, he actually comes to us and wears a red shirt, and this isn't all just speculation.
Yeah, we shall see. The story's coming out of Spain at the moment, which maybe makes you think that it's coming out of Let's Go. They're trying to force the price up a little bit, but then you have to remember with Thiago that all the stories there came out of Germany, didn't they? And it proved to be right. So I'm hanging to that one and saying that there is something in this. But we shall see. If AS are to believe, Liverpool, get up the bid to around 41 million, and that'll be enough for them to accept it. So it might happen quite quickly. So who knows? But obviously, if it does, the Anfield Wrap will be covering that best we can. So do sort of look out for all that and all excitement. I might even have my top off again. Who knows? We shall see. And yeah, that's about it for today. Just a couple of things on sort of pre-season games to look out for. Obviously, Liverpool play again tomorrow night. We'll be live on the Hot Mic app, so come and join us along with that. It's live on LFCTV, but if you want a bit of Anfield Wrap commentary along with it, download the Hot Mic app. It's completely free. Just use the code Anfield Wrap and get stuck in. And a few of us will be doing the commentary of that game for upstairs. Paul Gorst as well yesterday tweeted that he thinks there's another friendly. It looks like there's another friendly a week on Thursday, so that's one to look out for. That'll be out on the training camp. But then, of course, there are those two big games at Anfield on the Sunday and the Monday. Still tickets available for those. They both went on general sale. If you're someone who isn't normally able to get to Anfield, or you do, but you've got sort of children or friends and stuff who you'd love to take along for their first game, this is a really good opportunity to get into Anfield. Maybe for some people for the first time, or even for the first time for a while. Those games on Sunday and Monday should be really good against Bilbao, and then the Osasuna one, which is the Michael Robertson tribute, on the Monday night. So yeah, get stuck in, get involved, get on the club website and get your tickets. Are you going to either of them?
Sadly not, no. And that may look bad, but no, I started a new job.
I'm away. I know, I can't go either.
Monday night, I can't make it.
a few of the new guys upstairs are looking forward to go. But anyway, more tickets for you, and me and Chloe are taking them up. So yeah, so get stuck in. So yeah, that's it from us today. Nice one for Jordan for filming, of course, to Chloe, and for you for getting in your comments about Jota. That's been Talking Reds. Back tomorrow.